As a data professional, you often find yourself using VLOOKUP to solve some problems in your workplaces. You notice sometimes your manager asks you, please help us look for the total of this from this table, or get us this employee's sales over time from this table. Some of these things are frequent at your workplaces. And VLOOKUP is about the most used lookup function for these activities. And that is why you cannot run away from it as a data professional. You will definitely use it in one case or the other. Welcome guys to my YouTube channel. This is your data buddy Kingsley, and today we will dive deep into VLOOKUP. Now VLOOKUP is one of the most used lookup functions in Excel, or I would even say one of the most used functions in Excel. And today we are going to dive deep into it with three scenarios here, as you can see on my sheets. These scenarios are from simple to hard or complex case studies. So let's dive deep into it. Now, what is a VLOOKUP? To be able to answer this, let's check what our first scenario is. A store manager wants to quickly look up the selling price of a specific product to inform a customer. So they want to look up the selling price of a particular product so as to tell the customer this is the selling price of this product. And they have several products. All they need to do is to query it by product ID, and they will be able to find what the product is. Or they could also go about querying it by the product name. But in this scenario, we will use product ID, and then we will tell you the selling price. Now to do this, let's pick up a product. I'm going to randomly pick up P003, and that's the name of the product. This is the product ID I am working with. So I will start with the product P003. This product becomes the value I am looking up. I am looking up this in this table, and this is like the table array or the table range. So let's get to the lookup function. Here is where I need to type in the function. Now we start with the way you always know. To type in a function, you start with the equal to sign and then start typing it out. This is VLOOKUP, and it says looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table. Now, what this means is it should be at the left side of the values you want to get for that particular entry you're looking up for. In other words, my product ID P003 will need to be at the left side of the price I am looking at for. My lookup value is this. I'll pick it, separate it with a comma. Now, depending on the locale you are, this could be a comma or a semicolon. For me, it is a comma. So I have picked up the lookup value. Next is the array. So the table array is this. So I could use my mouse, click here and drag everything. I want to drag everything because my cost price is at the end here. If I don't drag everything, it will not account for my cost price. So then I have gotten my table array, comma, and the next is the index. So the way the index works is this. On your table array, you will need to index or number your column, and it starts from 1. The first column is the product ID, it's 1. Then you count across left to right. Now, what column am I looking to index? That's the field. That's the column that we want to get the value from. So this time around, it is the selling price, and the selling price is on 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the fourth column. I will type 4. Now notice range lookup. Let me put my comma. Good. This fourth criteria is in a square brackets. What that means in Excel is that this is optional. You could choose to add it, or you may choose not to add it. But don't allow the fact that it is optional to make you not to use it. It's important you actually use it, most especially when you want to get an exact match. So to get an exact match for this P003, our product ID P003, we will say false. False in Excel is the same thing as 0. So you could use false or you could say 0, and I am going to use 0. True is an approximate match. We are not not dealing with approximate match in this section today. So we deal with the exact match, which is what you mostly will use. So I will say 0 and I will close my bracket and enter. And then we have the price, the selling price for this particular product. And if I change it to another price, let's say 4, and click out, it automatically changes. So the way to work on this is, now sometimes you may want to have some more data. You have 01 and T005, and you want to easily drag and drop it here. So you notice we have not a number and then the exact information for P005. Why is this way? Let's click on this not a number and then click in the function here. So notice it's not taking account of this not a number. That is because of referencing issue. So this is what we are going to do in VLOOKUP. What we should do is, I'll clear this and come on here and go to our reference. This is our reference. That's actually what references what we are doing. Instead of leaving it empty that way, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix this entire range, or because that's our array. And to fix it, all I need to do is to press my F4 key, and that fixes it. You can also do this manually by typing out the $sign, but that's really not efficient. And then I will say okay. Now that way, if I drag down, I get everything correct. That's so simple. This is a very simple case scenario. Now, another thing I would want to do is, instead of having this way, another thing I could do is, if I clear everything here, come up here and clear, I want to have a drop down, create a data validation so that I don't need to have this overflow down here. So I will click here and go to data validation. I'll create a data validation. I want a list, and then my source is this. That's my source, and I will say okay. So I have a data validation here. Again, remember, you need to ensure that you fix your range. So now with this, all I need to do is to come in here, pick up anyone, and it automatically comes up. Easy. And that's so nice, very dynamic. And I would prefer this because, well, it is neater, because in the long run, we just want to get the value for the manager. And that's it. So let's go into the second case scenario. And in the business scenario here is, a marketing team wants to find the total purchase made by a specific customer. Now, in this case, we want to use the customer ID to fetch this information from the customer data. And this is the customer data we have here. We want to be able to get the total purchase from the customer ID. So let's go in and do this. Simple, the same way we did it. Let's do it here. So I will pick up one of the customer IDs. Let's pick up customer ID C015. I like that. So I will come in here, C015. So this is what we are going to reference, and let's start. Equal to VLOOKUP, and that's the lookup function, and this is my lookup value separated. Now the table array we are looking up for, it's in another sheet. So let's go to that sheet. It's in my customer sheet, and it is everything here. I want to take it from here. Hold your shift arrow key to the right and then to the bottom. So it picks up everything where we have data. So we have been able to handle the table array. We are looking up, remember, we're looking up for the total purchases. So total purchases here is in index 1, 2, 3, 4, index 4. And all I need to do is to say, I want an exact match, 0 or false, depending on what you want. And I'll close it, click on enter, and I have my data. So let's go and find out if this is correct. C015, this is the total purchase. Easy, 1215. If I change it to C20 and click out, changes to 1701. So let us check it out. That's it here, 1701. And that's how interesting this thing is. So how about we want to do something more because this is quite simple, even though it's coming from another sheet. So let's do something more, a little bit of a calculation. Let's find out the average purchase. On the average purchase, what we want to do, we say the total purchase divided by the number of transactions. That will give us the average purchase. So let's go and do this. So come in here, say VLOOKUP equal to VLOOKUP. And again, this is the customer we are referencing. And my comma will go to the data and pick up Control Shift the right and down to pick up everything. So this time around, I want to pick up this first. So the index is 4, which is consistent with what we did before, and I want exact value. So and I will close it. I am happy. That gives me what I want here. This is the same. Now let's go back to it again. So having had this, what I want to do now is to apply my division, and then again the VLOOKUP function. This time around, I want to copy everything here because it's almost the same. The difference is just the column name. Copy it and paste in here. Instead of 4, my index is 5 because this is the index we are dividing by. So I'll change it to 5 and close this. And when I click enter, I get my answer. Easy, isn't it? This is easy. If I go to, let's validate it. If I go to 001, which has just 1, so you see, it's just the same answer. Why? Because in 001, we just have one transaction. So this is this divide by this, and it gives you the answer. Well, remember in our previous transaction work, we actually did referencing. So we fixed our reference. So let's go and fix the reference. F4 and I fix it. F4 and I will fix it. Good. I will say okay. So now if I type C003 and C012, something like that. So all I need to do is to drag this down here and I get my answer. Drag this down, drag this down here and I will get my answer. And that is how simple this turns out. So sweet. Okay, that is our second scenario. Can we go to the third scenario, please? I'm itching for the third scenario. An inventory manager needs to check stock levels for a particular product across multiple warehouses based on both product and regional criteria. In this case, this will require combining columns for a dynamic lookup. Let's go in there and do it. So we're talking about the inventory data. This is the data. We want to check the stock level. Where this becomes a bit complicated is that product 4 is a warehouse 4, and this same product 4 is in warehouse 2, you can see. So for us to be able to achieve what we need to get a unique identifier field to help us identify the correct stock level based on the products and the warehouse ID. So let's do this. To do this, we want to create a helper column. So how do we go about it? We come in here and insert a new column. Remember the rule, your lookup function value will need to be at the leftmost side of what you are looking for. So let's name this inventory data. And all I just want to do is simple. So all we want to do is we say this, concatenate it. This is concatenation with this. And that's all we want to do. And we will say enter. And it has done it for us. This has created a unique field, a unique way of identifying a product from a particular warehouse. Now let's move in and drag everything down, and it has created it for us. Good. So right now, all I want to do is to ensure that we are working with a field, not really a reference, we click on it, copy that field, and come here, paste, and we want to paste value, paste special, and we'll paste value. And think we are good. Okay, so let's move on. I'll pick this as my lookup value. Let's go back to where we do our transaction. That's my lookup value. So let's start with the VLOOKUP. And this is my lookup value. I'll separate it with a comma and move in here. No, that's not where I'm moving in. This is where I am moving in. And so I'm picking this reference. Now I am referencing from the inventory data. I don't have business with this anymore. My inventory data is still at the leftmost side of the value I am looking for. So hold Control Shift to the right and to the bottom, and we here, close it, a comma. Where is my index? Because I am starting here, so the index of the value I'm looking at for it's now 2, not 4, because I started my range from inventory data. So it means Excel is recognizing only 2 columns here. It's not recognizing the first 2. All right, so let's move on. And I want an exact match. And that's it. Okay, so we say it's 66. So let's go and check it out. Yeah, 66. Beautiful job done. So let's move in here and fix our range. I like fixing it. Good, it's fixed. Remember to say enter key. Okay, so if I go back now and bring in something more, bring in this, put it here, get another one, just this one. So all I need to do is to drag it and I get all my results. Simple, easy, and interesting. So I'm sure you're loving this. So I'm sure you enjoyed this video. So if you got value from this video, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. It is important for the YouTube algorithm to recommend this interesting video. And remember to share it amongst your folks so that they will learn what you have learned here. Do not forget to ring the bell icon so you will be the first to know whenever I post a video. And my videos are things you will learn in your day-to-day data analysis job. So stick with me and you will always gain value from any video I post.